The Michigan Wolverines just wrapped up a 7-game stretch in a matter of 20 days. During that time, they went 5-2, knocking off the Michigan State Spartans, nearly knocking off another top Big Ten team in the Purdue Boilermakers, and a shot at redemption lies ahead on Thursday night, matching up once again with the Boilermakers. Head coach John Beilein joins us now to talk about it. Coach, you not only survived, but you also thrived through that arguably the most difficult part of the schedule for your team. What did your team prove to you during that tough time?
Well, you know how it's done as a former college athlete, but for our kids, if people were embedded with us during those 20 days, you would say, how do you ever do this? And our kids did it, and I looked at the schedule, and it could have been worse. It certainly could have been better because we lost a tough one home to Purdue, but we also were very fortunate with Maryland. So I'm just happy where we are right now, 9 games to go, and they're all going to be tough. But hopefully we learned enough from that stretch, and now we get back to what's really important, practicing to get ready for games.
You mentioned it, 9 games left. How would you grade your team's performance based on the expectations, internal or external, to this point in the season?
I don't know what the expectations were. Our expectation is just get better every day. You know, just come to practice and work your tail off. So, and our kids have done that. So I'm grading them as an A as far as their work habits and their buying in to what it takes to win in the Big Ten. Now that second time around with some teams, seeing other teams, we see Northwestern. We haven't seen them yet. We see them twice in a week almost. So we are we have a lot of things that are still formulating with us. And I said between practice and some rest, we have to improve because the rest of the league will improve. We have to do the same thing.
And as we look a little bit deeper into those improvements, your most recent win came against Rutgers. As you watch back that tape, a slow start for the group, but what did you learn from that victory?
Well, that we were a gutty group because Rutgers really made it difficult to score every basket, and we stayed through it, but we didn't. I think I've had other teams that when things weren't going well offensively, their defense would suffer, even with this team this year. And things did not go well offensively, but our defense did not suffer. Rutgers has a couple of very talented players on their team, and we really held them in check most of the way. And we got our work cut out for us now, trying to do the same thing at Purdue, where they are playing as good as any right now. Purdue's playing probably as good as any team in the Big Ten that I've ever witnessed in my 11 years here at Michigan. They got great inside game. And they are, I haven't seen a team that can shoot like this. And it's really a tough, difficult match for everybody.
We'll get to that Purdue matchup in just a moment, but there was a cool moment off the court about that Rutgers game. You signed 12-year-old Jude Stamper to a letter of intent. He was not only a part of the team before the game, but also afterwards. How do moments like those impact your players?
It's so, you know, Jude keeps thanking us and we keep thanking him. It's normal for him to come to a practice and practice is over, and our guys have been through, you know, a tough hour-and-a-half to 2-hour practice, and it's 10 minutes after practice, and I gotta say, come on, guys, we got a training meal because they're still over there just talking with Jude. He's got a remarkable personality. His family is absolutely terrific, and he's just become part of us right now. And we feel so blessed to be a part of his life, and I'm happy he feels the same way.
That's pretty awesome, Coach. And now let's reflect back on a game maybe you'd like to forget. Last Thursday night, you guys took a humbling loss to Nebraska, obviously amidst that difficult stretch. But as you watch back the tape, what did you learn from that game?
Well, first, number one was Nebraska's very good. And I think we found that out last night when, you know, they're leading Ohio State with 4 or 5 minutes to go in the game in Columbus. So they're very good. Tim's done a great job with that team. You know, we have Charles Matthews here now that is really had a great impact on our program. They got 3 guys that weren't there last year but were practicing with Nebraska. They're making a great impact. So, but if you look at every team that goes on the road this time of the year, whether it's a top team in the country, right, or it could be a team that has had a lot of success, you're about to get humbled. And we're just like anybody else. And that was a humbling experience at the expense of a very good team.
And tactically speaking, when you're matching up against a team like Nebraska that switched on nearly every screen on Mo Wagner, who almost was a non-factor in that game, how do you solve that as a coach?
Well, there's a bunch of different ways we're working on it. It is a work in progress. I will admit to it because it is something that is new to us, started last year. Nobody does this unless you have a 5-man that can really shoot it. And last year we were able to solve that. Minnesota did it to us and beat us in overtime last year. And from then on, every team played us that way, and we were able to solve it. Same thing happens. Now we have different personnel, so we may have to solve it in different ways, but it's a work in progress, and I'm sure we're going to see it more often this year.
And you'll probably see it again against Purdue, who also seemed to do the same thing tactically. So how do you best address that Thursday night against the Boilermakers?
Purdue is a more difficult issue because they also have a great ball screen defense as it is, where they play it in a particular manner that's rare in our league. So you have to prepare for both of those things. So that's what we'll be working on. And they got a great coach there with Matt Painter and his staff. They're working on their plan. We're working on ours. So I can't tell you exactly what we're going to do, partially because it would not be good, but also I don't know because we finally have time to practice. And for the next 2 days, we'll be working on some things. And then by game time, probably 5 or 6 hours before the games at our shoot-around, we'll say, okay, this is what we're going to do. And that's what we got to figure out in the next 48 hours.
You guys were so close to beating them the first time around. When it came down to the inches, where did Purdue ultimately beat you in that game in your mind?
Well, they beat us from 3. They did a great job from 3. We were one of the leaders in keeping people from shooting threes in, and they gave a clinic on how to execute and how to shoot the ball from outside that area. So, but Haas it's a difficult combination you have to do. You're trying to keep there are 2 big guys from scoring inside, and they do an incredible job of post feeding. All different looks, all different angles, and your big men have to be ready for that. At the same time, you can't have everybody staring at the big man like we were last game and giving up open shots. So we hope we'll do a better job guarding them this time, and then we hope we have a better plan for them offensively. So it should be a great game in a really hostile environment. Purdue's getting great crowds, and they should have it. You know, they're undefeated in the league, and I don't know if they haven't lost a game since November. So you got to go back a long way since they lost the game. They're clean in the month of December and January. Hopefully maybe we can change that. I don't know. We'll see.
That game taking place on Thursday night. Time now for the fun stuff, Coach. If you could pick the brain of any basketball mind, player, coach, past or present, anybody, sit down, have lunch or dinner with them, who would you choose and why?
It'd probably be Greg Popovich, who I do not know at all. But I think the way they play the game with the way the ball does not stick, it just what that means is people don't hold it too long. They move the ball, how to handle all the various defenses you're going to see, and then how to handle all the different offenses you're going to see. He's been through it all 82 times a year at a minimum, and I just really have a great respect for the way his teams play the game the right way. But I've never met him. We have nothing has ever happened. I don't think we have many commonalities other than big respect from me to him to the way that he coaches his team.
Certainly one of the best in the game. Lastly, your birthday's coming up, February 5th. You do not have a game on the schedule. If John Beilein could get one thing for his birthday, what would that be?
We'll probably win the game probably win the game before or after it. I've had some interesting birthdays. When you have a February 5th birthday, you have some interesting birthdays. I think one of the first ones we lost. I was a coach at Erie Community College. My wife baked this big cake afterwards for the locker room. We lost. I believe we lost to Jamestown Community College, and I think I threw the cake in the locker room after the game. So we don't know where the birthday days are going to go, but it is it's always it's a very secondary on my list. Usually I'll find out it's my birthday when I write the practice plan for that day and recognize, oh, February 5th, today's my birthday.
Not an ideal timing for a coach to have a birthday. Hopefully no cake thrown around that Michigan locker room this time around. No. Well, happy early birthday, Coach. Thank you so much for the time. We really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you very much.